the webinar. Okay, everybody, it's 12:01. I'm Laureen Zarba. I'm the Technology Training Manager here at LIBOR. And welcome to the Wednesday webinar. I got some exciting things to show you. We're learning the new Authentisign 2.0 that is part of Instanet. I'm sure most of you signed up because you knew the classic version of Authentisign. And now, you know, people don't like change. I don't blame you. I know. It's like, oh my gosh, why do they have to change everything? And the technology always changes, so we have to be on top of it, right? And you're here, and that's an important thing. This is going to be recorded, so you don't have to worry about taking notes or anything like that. It will be posted on the LI Realtor site in the COVID area. Give it a couple days, so this way you can take it over and over again. I'm going to post it on the support center in Stratus as well. So without further ado, let's get started. Now I know we might have some new agents that don't know Instanet. We have some agents that have been using Instanet and Authentisign since I've been teaching it for 10 years probably now. This is the objective of this webinar is to teach you the new Authentisign and not the whole program. You take a class for that. I put one on for next week because there was a high demand, and I'll show you where that is. So let me share my screen. But let me look at the chat first. Hi, hello. Okay, hello, everybody. I see some names I know already. The realtors always like to say hello to each other, I notice. So Instanet is located off my info center in Stratus. It is a member benefit, and Authentisign is the name of the signing part of it. Not DocuSign, it's Authentisign, and it's all free for you to use, okay? So like I said, although I'm such a teacher, I want to just tell you everything. I'm sticking to what the webinar is about. It will go fast, and the webinar is about learning the new Authentisign. So I'm gonna go into Instanet and get started right away. Periodically, I'll check for questions, but you know, I probably will answer most of your questions before you ask them. So I'll give a few minutes at the end to see, you know, what the questions are and things like that. Don't raise your hand. I don't really can answer that. If you have a question, just put it into the chat for me. All right, so everybody has an Instanet account. So I'm in mine. Your name is at the bottom, so it is your account. So it's easy to miss. Let me just minimize my picture. I don't want to look at my picture. So the dashboard is how you navigate, but we're going to just do a couple of things today. I'm going to do signing one form. I want to show you how to do that with the new Authentisign, and then signing a listing packet in a transaction so that you can see how to have that all signed. Like I said, I've been teaching this since we got Instanet, so I know the ins and outs. The program's changed like 3 times at least. This is the first time the signing part has changed. In my opinion, I think it's really easy for the people that are getting all stressed out because they have to learn a new signing package and they just learned the other one. But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at the changes. You have the same things you had in Classic. We're calling the old one Classic that you had before, but they have a couple of little extra things in there. Oh, another question I'm sure you're going to ask is what happens to my old signings? So the old signings in Classic will still be in there under the Classic tab. So you're not losing anything, not to worry, okay? So let's go into, I'm going to start here, add a form. Now the thing to know in Instanet is that your forms are your MLS forms, okay? Documents are things that you upload that are not in here. So you can bring in other documents, especially during this pandemic. We've been bringing in all kinds of things for people to sign. So that was a great experience, and I'm gonna demonstrate that too, if you don't know how to do that. But we're gonna pick just one form to start with. And I'm gonna look at the chat for a second. How do I make sure I'm getting these notifications of clear? Okay, I can't answer that right now. All right. These questions are all just technical things. I'm sticking to the application. And you know, when you take my webinars, they're mostly live. So I'm doing this live for you. If you just came in, what I did was I started in Stratus. I went into Instanet and I opened up, it starts right here, my Instanet program. Again, my objective is just to teach you the new Authentisign. I want you to feel comfortable after this webinar and go, oh gosh, this is a piece of cake. Again, this is recorded, so you can take it over and over again if you need to. All right, let me go into, like I said, I'm going into the forms. I'm going to show you how to sign one form to start. You know, I usually do that. And then what we're going to do is go into a transaction. And then how do we sign the whole listing packet? Also, I want to show you what it looks like from the participants or the signer's point of view and how it looks to them. So I'm going into the forms, that's this little one here, and I'm going into the one key MLS forms. Remember, forms are MLS forms. So these, of course, are all free for you to use. And I have this set up already so they're not watching me typing and wasting time. So I'm going to go into the agency disclosure folder. See, I have 281 forms that I teach a lot, so I filled out. So here they are with the dates on them. This one here I set up for you guys, and we are going to, let me click on this one. This one, I'm not typing it. Now, if you wanted a blank one, let me just get out of this for a second. Let me just show you that. If you wanted a blank one, and I know I can't hear you, but how do I get a blank one? The plus, right? So you would click on the plus sign and create a new, and that gives you a blank one. For this webinar, though, I am going to start with ones I already have so that I don't have to fill them out for you. So an agency disclosure, of course, we use this when we're listing, and you wouldn't sign this out by itself, send this out by itself, but I'm using this as my example. I have two sellers here. I have Juan Santiago and Mary. They're both sellers. And I have my name in here. I already typed it up, ready to go. So I want to just show you and demonstrate the new signing feature and how to do it. At the top of your forms, you'll have a pen. So use this pen. This way it knows you're signing this. The pen on the left doesn't really know. You kind of have to tell it what we're signing. So this is Authentisign. That's how you use it. Send it to Authentisign, and I'm going to click on that. Now, right now, we still have the classic. This is the one I've been teaching for like a decade that they're changing. All of your signings will still be in there. I said it before in case you missed that. And this is expiring on February 10th. So we're not going to have this here anymore. You're going to have to use the new one. So I don't even teach this anymore. I don't look at it anymore. I didn't mind it. I thought it worked well, but this really does work better. So we're going to go into a new Authentisign and start the signing process. So when we get in, it looks really different, doesn't it? This is where the signings are. My form came up because I was on one form, so it knew this. And let's look at the right side. Now, if there's pictures, oh, you guys don't have pictures, that's right, because it's not a Zoom class. So you should be able to see my screen fine. You have signers. This is the first thing that comes up. These tools on the right side is how you're going to navigate your signing process. So the signers are the people who sign, obviously. You have documents. This is what they're going to sign. Then we have our tools. So these are the three things that I'm mainly going to concentrate on to show you. And, you know, even though it doesn't say 1, 2, 3, 4, like it did in the old one, I pretty much just click these boxes. It's really simple. Okay, we're good. All right, so I know what I'm signing because the document's already there. So now I'm going to add my 2 participants in here. And their names are Juan and Mary Santiago. So I'm going to add them in. So let me click on Add Participant. And can you see this drop down here that came up? It says add yourself. That would be me or you, right? Listing agent, selling agent. Add a new one. Add from contacts or add from Google, which I think, do we have that before? I think we did. So add from contacts is not Stratus contacts. This program has its own contacts. So if you work with the same people, the same buyers, the same attorneys, same inspectors, you have a group of people, I would add them in here to the contacts. This way you don't have to keep typing them in. I'm going to show you a couple ways. I'm going to add a new one. And my first person here is going to be Juan. So I put in his first name. And then tab over. Spelled Juan's name wrong. Santiago. Santiago. And then Santiago, spelled that wrong too. Hold on a second. Okay, and then the email. What I'm using for my own, and I do this, you could practice doing this yourself. Make sure you have their email because this is how it works. It goes through their email. I'm using my Gmail account. This would be theirs. And really importantly, and I did teach it the old way, make sure you put the role in. Are they a buyer? Are they a seller? Are they a listing agent? Are they a selling agent? Or there's something other outside the real estate industry. So you do have an other field here. So I put in seller. This helps the system know where to put the signing blocks. So buyers or sellers, to put that in here. This is saved to my contact list. So that would be the contacts in Instanet in case you want to use them again, or you need to revise something and send it back to them. I'll just save it in there. I'll show you where that is. It's on one of the sidebars here. Let's just scroll down and take a look at this. Now, you still have the remote signer. That means you're not going to be there to witness it, okay? And then you have reviewer and CC. A reviewer gets it. They don't sign it. They have to acknowledge that they got it, though. And the CC, which I hate to say carbon copy because, wow, that really dates us. So I say courtesy copy. That they don't have to acknowledge anything. They're just getting a copy of it. But most of the time we leave it on signer, remote signer. You can give them a PIN, which gives them another layer of security in the signing process, but it's not mandatory. You can customize signatures. These are for, people who use their different names, or there's a corporation or a trust. Otherwise, I don't use these. They're here. Look at this. You can change the language to Spanish too. We did have that. And then down here, which is interesting because I don't remember this, you can change, when we send the signing out, you can send a certain, they can pick their own font. Yeah, wouldn't you let them do that? They want to do that. If you don't want to do that, don't do it. It's checked for me. Let them draw their own signature if they want. Yes, I'll keep it checked. And this one, I've never seen this one. Upload the signature image, which is something we need to do ourselves as realtors, right? I'm gonna investigate that. So that's kind of a cool thing. All right, so now I am going to save one, and then I'm going to put the next signer in. So you don't ever put them together because legal documents have to be signed separately. So then I'm going to go into add participant. And if I was adding from these contacts, I would put in their name, and then here's all my contacts that come up in here. I don't have her in there, so I have to press add participant. So I'm going to add a new participant, and her name is Mary. I try to keep it easy. Mary Santiago. Go. And, most spouses have separate emails. I'm using the same here, but make sure you got their emails, right? And she's also a seller, okay? Same, this is the same as it was. This hasn't changed. It's just the look that's changed. Okay, looks good. I'm not changing anything. And then I save her. So now I got Juan and Mary Santiago, okay? Pretty much this particular form is done already. You can add more people in here. The map signer, you know what? I don't even go into that. That just kind of gives them signings. Like one's a buyer, one's a seller. You can do it all at once. That's what that does there. So if we scroll down here, let's take a look. It put the signing blocks in automatically. And Here's Mary, here's Juan, and here's the date. And the only reason we got those is because I put them in as sellers. So it kind of knew. If they weren't in here, you would go over to docs. Okay, that's the little block under signers. No, I'm sorry, not docs, tools. You want to go into tools. So in tools, they mixed a couple things up in here. They put together, I should say. They put in the signing actions where you can drag and drop. I love that. The signing fields, which are awesome when you're uploading documents that are not fillable. And then the markup, because I use the text box a lot. So you have to have all of that in the tools part here. So if I wanted Juan to initial something, I could just, which I don't, I'm just showing you, I can just drag that out. And then I could change over to Mary's name. They're giving them different color blocks, I noticed, and I guess that's just so we know it's different signers. I guess, you know, people are visual, so I get it. And then Mary, she would have that initial, if that's what you wanted to do. If they're missing a date, you have that also down here where you have, scroll down a little bit, auto dates, auto times, everything's drag and drop. You know, I love the drag and drop stuff. But I'm playing here, so I can just click on that little garbage pail or delete on your keyboard, right? Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Really easy. So when you're practicing, the date part comes up automatically. Here, let me show you. If I delete Juan's signing block, let me change it from Mary. People always used to make this mistake. Make sure the name, the proper name is here when you drag this off. The date will come with it, but it probably go in the wrong place. So there we are. Here's something, I don't know if we had this before, but I discovered when I was learning this, which I learned it a few weeks ago, just saying, but I know it. When you click on the date format, look at the side here. You can change the format of the date if you don't like it, okay? Sometimes I don't like the 2 numbers for the year. I like the whole year. I mean, that's just me, but it doesn't matter. You can just change it to that if you want. But you do have that flexibility. Transparent background. Okay, I don't mess with any of that. Let me check. You guys have questions in here? I see some action up here. Please show how to add multiple documents. I'm going to do it, Peter, not to worry. What you said about not signing multiple documents together. If the home is in trust and you fill in the trustee info, does it show at the signatures? Yes, it does. Can multiple signers use the same email? Yes, they can. So they can use separate, they get them separate, they get them in their different emails. And that's something, you know what, I do remember, those of you that use this, there was a simultaneous signing and there was signing together. So simultaneous signing, that's what we're on. That's what it defaults to. What that means is, say this couple here, they're both going to get it in their email at the same time, instead of one getting it and then the next one gets it after they sign. You don't have to change anything. It's perfect. This is the way you want to use it anyway. All right, so in here, let me go back to tools for a minute. Let's look at the tools, because this is where you're going to set up the signings. The signing fields here, these are great for documents. So if I needed to put someone's name in here, I could do that. I don't want to put his name in this document. If I wanted to put his email in, I could do that. And they've added email. We didn't have that before. And the date and stuff like that. Also, text, I show this a lot when I teach. Text box. It's not a drag, so it kind of got me because I'm trying to drag it. You turn it on and then you click on your text box. And this will let you type if you're doing a clause, an addendum, or you're adding things to your document. Okay, otherwise you cannot type on these, right? When we're in this format. So you can add a text box, or someone to delete it for signing or whatever you want to do. All right, so this didn't really have much on it, but I wanted to show you the tools over here. Documents, I kind of skipped that for a second, is when I want to add another document or form, I can go in here and drag it in or grab it from wherever. So A lot more flexibility than we had before. You were kind of stuck. Another thing I noticed that was a benefit from the classic version is that going back and coming back in, if you made a mistake, was always difficult. I was almost telling people just delete it and start over. But now there's a back button here that lets you save your changes, because maybe you go, oh my gosh, I'm not ready to send this. You could save it and then reopen it when you're ready in case there's something missing or you're not sure about something or the email might be wrong. And then you could send it out. So really flexible. I'm going to click next because I'm ready to send this. So now you get this here, which is kind of cool. You get an expired date. Now you can change this. So what's today? So this is expiring today. No, yeah. Oh, that's tomorrow. It gives me 1 day. What does that mean? That means that it's going to expire out of their inbox, so the link won't work anymore. And this is for identity theft purposes, right? People in the inboxes, you got to be careful nowadays. I love this. Set the reminder. Used to be hours. Now we don't have hours. I'll just say 1 day. Every day they don't sign it, it's going to remind them. Don't forget to sign. Don't forget to sign without you doing it. You can customize the invitation right here. There's a default invitation that goes out, but you can customize. I probably would customize it if I were you, and then save it, for each person, whatever you want to do. All right, I'm ready to go. I'm sending it out, press and send. And then what happens is that it goes into their email, they open it up, they choose a font, and I'm going to show you all of this. They accept this disclosure, which protects you legally, which I'm going to show you that. And then you get a copy right away and they get a copy. Automatic, everything works automatic. So right now, the way the signing looks, it says sent. Before it had a lightning bolt, remember? We don't have, here's the classic view. It had lightning bolts and it had ribbons. Now it has sent, draft, or completed. So a draft would be something that somebody saved and backed out of, and now they want to go back in. So I like that. We didn't have that. Okay, so that's really great. I think that's really great. All right, I'm going to look at the Q&A. Anybody have any questions about any of the questions that I haven't answered? I'm going to get to the multiple signer and the multiple documents. Not to worry. Okay. All right, let me show you what it looks like from their perspective. I have my email open because I'm using myself as the example of the seller. I did this one ahead of time in case my email was slow, because you never know. Never know. Here it is. I did this before the webinar. Your signatures were requested. So, oh wow, this one came up fast. Oh, let me use that one then. This is the one I just did with you. Sometimes it's slow, you never know, right? So I have my picture in here and I have my signature, my contact information. If you don't have that, I'll show you where that is. Make sure you do that in the profile and settings so they know who this is coming from. Give them a heads up. I'm ready, sending you the documents. So I am the seller now. This is what it looks like. Hello, Juan Santiago. Lorraine Zarba is inviting you to participating as a signing party in Authentisign. And then they click on start signing. Now, I've never used him before, so they only get this once, unless they want to send this, change their signature. But they have to accept the acknowledgement. This is a consumer consent disclosure. These are the things that protect you from them saying they didn't sign that. I never signed that. I didn't sign that. Yes, you did sign that because you accepted this disclosure. We know what computer you were on. We know what IP address it was, what date and time, the whole thing. I'll show it to you. So we just accept this. And then we start signing. So you click on start. And then you click here, and this is a little different because they changed this because the signers were getting confused because they picked the signature fonts ahead of time without this disclosure. I think the order of it I think it's a good idea they do it now. So when they click start, this is where they pick the font. I like this font. But say, for instance, he doesn't like this font. He can come in and we have a few fonts in here. He can change this, whatever your mood is. Or they can draw it. Now, it's not easy to draw, okay? But see what I'm saying? It's not easy, but they might feel comfortable doing this. I'm going to erase this, but I'm just showing you. And they erase it with the little X here. Don't want that. I'm going to go back to my font. I like the first one. I thought it was good. See what I'm saying? Or they can upload. Again, this is brand new. They can upload like a capture of their signature. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to teach them how to do that, but let them just do this. This is easy. Set the signature, complete the signing, and they're done. All they have to do is click once. Then she gets it. Now, I don't know if we got hers yet. We don't have hers. I use the same email. It's supposed to come in at the same time. Don't know why hers is not there yet, but they never are. And then his would be signed. She signs it. When all parties sign it, then you get it back. Okay, just like the old way. Are we good? Everybody good so far? All right, let me go back into Authentisign. I'll check to make sure that she gets it because right now it's not signed. Here's something though. I'm in the pen, right? If I click on this one, I can resend to the unsigned participants. Isn't that kind of cool? Instead of sending it to everybody, and this guy says, well, I already signed this thing. It will only send it to the unsigned participants. So that's really awesome. That's a new thing in there that you're probably going to use. So we'll wait for that. Okay, take a deep breath. So all I did was go into forms. I pulled up just one form. Now, most of what you're going to be doing is listing packets, right? Or buyer, you're working with a buyer, whatever it is. And I have a transaction set up for you already. It's in the house here. This is the transaction. This is why we take a class so you learn how to do this. This is where you store everything that has to do with your property transaction, all the people, all the forms, all the documents, all the emails. You have unlimited storage in here that you can upload all your folders that have to do with the property. Take advantage of it. So I have one already created that I did for you ahead of time, and it's called the webinar transaction. So this one's done. The signing part's not done. Look, you can even add a photo, which I like. We always had that though. I'm just throwing that in. Maybe this, I like this kitchen. Let me pick that one. Something like that, or just to identify this one. So this transaction is something a lot of you are using already. Now the thing to remember is if you want to upload forms that are not in here, that you use in your company or you're using for something else, they're called documents. They're not called forms. You follow? So I uploaded the COVID disclosure, and I use that as my example because it's not in Instanet. It came up. We had to start using it. We had to download it, right, from the NISAR site and then upload it into Instanet. So you might have something else you want them to sign, or you just want to store something, okay? The way you do it here is you click on the plus, and then you can go out to your computer and you can upload whatever you need in here. So documents are things I uploaded, forms are MLS forms that are already in there. Got it? So once you remember that, it helps a lot. So I have in here, let's look at what I got in here. This is what I uploaded. I uploaded the agency disclosure, lead paint disclosure, the fair housing form, and your contract, exclusive right to sell. So you might have other things. And if I forgot one, I can click on the plus, go into the forms, and then click on the little circle and add them, okay? So really easy. See, okay, so they collected did I pick a form? No, I didn't. What if I picked a form I didn't want? Do you know how to get rid of it? You would click on, I call it the snowman. You click on the snowman and press delete, okay? they're using a lot of like symbols, so like snowmen and baskets and pluses in here. But to me, I like it better than the old version of Instanet. I don't know if you remember. Don't even worry about it. All right, so here's the forms, and I want them all signed. I'm going to do it a different way. Now, in my transaction, and you might do it this way, you might have Instanet here, and you can start signing. You can click on signing on the right. Maybe my tablet's really small that I'm using, or my iPad's really small, and I might not get that sidebar. What if we just go out to the pen? That's the signing part. Now, every transaction has a name. I call this webinar transaction, okay? It's like filling out the top of your folder. That could be the name of the property or the family, whatever. I'm going to go to the pen. I'm going to start it right from here. So I want that listing packet to be signed. So I start a new signing. So I'm going to click on, I didn't show you the forms. Let me just go back 1 second. Just want to show you what the forms look like. I showed you the names of the forms. Let me show you what they look like. All right, now you know what the agency disclosure looks like. It's already filled out. I didn't fill everything out. The lead paint disclosure. I'm using Jack and Jill Seller. Okay, they live in Belmore. They're selling their house. This is the lead paint disclosure. And then the fair housing one. Well, now that we have to use this, I added this one in, and I added the sellers in. Don't ask me to explain all of these. And then the last one is your exclusive right to sell. Now, I don't know what happened with the agency disclosure, because Jack and Jill aren't at the bottom. They were. Let's see, let me put them in. So let me just type it in, Jack Seller, and then Jill Seller. All right, this is how you save it. File. We know this. File, save, save. Okay. Okay. All right, so the transaction has been created. The forms have been filled out. What do I do to get everybody to sign this thing? So I have 2 people that are going to sign it. Then I have to sign the lead paint disclosure. So I'm going to add myself in as a signer. So you're going to go into the pen. A couple of ways you can do it. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to click on the plus, like you do everything in Instanet, and I'm doing the new Authentisign. So I'm going to click on that button. I'm going to give it a name. Let's just say webinar. You guys, webinar signing. And I'm pulling it from a transaction. So I love this. So I just did this webinar transaction for you, which will link it to the signing. So all the people, all the forms, everything will be at my fingertips because I linked it to my transaction name. And then I'm going to press save. Okay, so here we go. Now this is completely blank because when I pull up one form, I do get the form there, and then I have the tools on the right side. But I don't have any forms now, so I need to pull that in first. But actually, there is no real sequence. Like I can add the participants first if I want. I go left to right, so I'm going to pick add documents. And I have to say, I think this is really great that all of them come up. Even my forms, my MLS forms came up, and my COVID form came up automatically. Anything that I upload or added in came up. I don't have to pick them all, but I am. I'm picking every form in my transaction, okay? Even the COVID form, because I want to show you that. I don't know if you're using it. If I forgot one, I can upload. It gives me opportunity to do it here. It goes, oh my gosh, I forgot a form. I can click on drag and drop, go off to my computer and grab something else if I need that. Not a form, it would be adding a document, okay? So I'm looking good. I'm going to X that out. So here they all are here. Everybody see this? These are the forms that we're sending to our 2 sellers to sign, and then I'm going to sign one too. So everything's done through the email. All right, let's look at this. Now I have 5 forms here that are being sent out, you can change the order of what they have to sign first. We used to always send out the contract first. So here it is here. It's called the exclusive right to sell now. On these little 6 little dots here, you can just drag it to the top. That's kind of cool. Well, you know, I like to drag. So maybe I want them to sign that. And then this one, I can change the order, or you can change the numbers, and that would change the order if you're not a dragger. I moved the contract to the top. See how I changed this over here? And this will be in the order. So let me just look at my forms. I didn't put the commission in. I skipped a couple things. And here's the signers. And then here is my agency disclosure. Here's my lead paint disclosure. Here's the fair housing form. And then this one's the COVID document, not form, because now I got to add people in. I got to do things to this that you need to know how to do. Okay, looks good. If I forgot something, I can always add it. So it gives me that opportunity on the right. I'm looking good for that. So let me go up, and I need to add the signers. So I have 2 signers plus myself. And I think I put, Jack into the contacts. Let's see if I did add contacts. I put Jack in. Seller. I did. Is this not cool? Okay, I got him right there. I got him in 3 times. Select. So I don't have to type him in. Right? And he's a seller. It all looks good unless he changes his email or something. Adding participants. This is where we added the new one. Let me just do that again for you, although Jill's in here. And then adding yourself, which is me. Let me add myself now. It knows who you are. So Laureen Zarba, L Zarba, LI Realtor. I don't want to use that one. I want to use my Gmail account. I can change it. You don't have to use that one. Gmail.com. And I am a listing agent in this particular transaction, okay? So I put that in. You see? So I added myself. So I showed you how to add from contacts, add a new one, and add yourself. So I'm going to add one more, and that's Jill. Jill Seller. Very original, as you know. Whatever her, she might have a different email. Most of the time we have different emails, don't we, than our spouses nowadays, especially. I always say my husband doesn't want me in his email. I don't want to be in his email, and he doesn't want to, I don't want him in mine. So this is the way it goes. Seller, the joke, whatever. Okay, so everything stays the same. I have my 3 signers, Jack, Jill, and me. Okay, let me just look at this. Okay, that opens that up. And then I close it, no big deal. I click them back on. Pretty easy, don't you think? It's pretty easy so far. I'm very happy with the changes. I'm really happy, especially since I'm the one who's going to be teaching everybody. So here are my signers. Now don't expect this thing to be set up properly, because it's not. You're in charge, okay? And for some reason, our new contract doesn't recognize them as sellers and doesn't put a signature block in. So what do? We use the tools. Jack's first, so I'm just going to drag the signing block there. The date's going to come in the wrong place, so I'll just drag it there. And then let's get Jill in here. Now, see the little drop down? It changes the name. So whenever the color changes, which this is a new feature too. We didn't have that. And the date, again, has to be there. And then I'm signing a few things. So I am going to sign that. So I'm going to get it in my email. Again, the date's over here. Okay, we're good? Any questions? I'm going to check the Q&A, the chat. Let me see what we got here. I'm the chat person, okay? All right, I read that one already. Okay, do we need to CC ourselves, or does this happen automatically? You don't need to CC yourself. You're going to automatically get the copies. It's automatic, okay? Show us how to personalize the email signers to receive. I'll show you that again, okay? When we send it, it gives you an opportunity to customize the invitation. When I pre-fill my info on the lead paint disclosure, the initials and the signature never line up. I know, Adrian. I don't know. I got to get them to fix that. It never does. Okay. It's not just you. It's everybody. It's everybody. So, okay, that I answered all of those. Let me get rid of this chat for now. All right. This one looks good. Let's look at the other one. All right. This one's already set up for you. That looks good. This is what she's talking about. See how they're floating around? The little signatures are floating around, and you need to straighten them out. You always have to do this until I get them to figure this out. Now, let me just look at this lead paint disclosure for a second. I did training for a big company, and the broker did not want them to check the boxes ahead of time. So I found a way, if that comes up as an issue, that you could do it with the tools. Okay, so I'm in tools right now, and we had this in the old one. The radio buttons, remember circles? Circles, you pick one or the other. Squares, you can pick multiples. So the radio buttons, you just click, it gives you like 2 eyeballs. You could put one on each. So this way they can pick only one. Then I pick another one, another set for this group. You got it? And we hope and pray they pick the right one. That's what we do. So there is an alternative. I'm going to delete them because I already checked this stuff ahead of time, but just in case, it's called the radio. It was called the radio button. Now they're calling it radio choice, whatever. Okay, come down here. My initials in the wrong place. This is Jack. This is me. We got a little work on this one. Straighten it out. While I'm doing this, a couple little words of advice here is when you have initials like this, do not have it at the edge like this, because if they're signing it on their phone, even if they're not on their phone, but when you're using their finger to sign, there'll be a red arrow, unless they got rid of that. I didn't see it, so maybe they did. It's hard to press it, so give it a little margin space, because they can sign with their finger, they can sign with their mouse, they can sign with the stylus. It's just a click. They're just clicking, click, 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 and that's it. It's amazing. We need to expedite our transactions here, so this is going to help us. All right, what's the next one? This one is the fair housing. It looks good. Did I miss one? No, I didn't. All right, here's the COVID form, okay? So this is for you people that want to bring in documents that are not on Instanet already, okay? You scan it in, upload it in, whatever way you want to do it. I use this as just my example. I can't type on this thing, couldn't type on it before either. So what do? So we need the seller, in this case, the seller, to sign this thing. All right, so I'm not signing this. So let me get my name out. Here's Jack. So he needs to sign this. I drag my signature block, has my date, looking good. But how do I print his name? Honestly, before I was drawing text boxes and typing his names. I don't have to do that, because if you look down here, they gave you these signer fields. So the full name will automatically be there. Love it. Okay. And if I needed his email, I can get that too. I don't need it. I could just delete it. And then I want to change it over to Jill. You with me? Okay. So it's full name. Oops, wrong place. Sign here. The date comes up. If the date doesn't come up, you just come over here and drag the date, right? Or maybe you want I kind of like having the time. When did they sign this thing? It'll timestamp this too. Okay. Date and time. Now this part down here is not that easy because I got to put my name in here, although my name is in as a signer. But if it wasn't, I would do a text box. So let me do a text box for you. I just click and then it doesn't let me make it bigger, but I'm learning to work with this. I can just put in my name, Maureen Zarba, and I can make this bigger if I needed it to. I think I can drag it down, stuff like that. I work for the Long Island Board of Realtors. So again, I got to put a text box in. That's not a drag, it's a click and a click. I'll just put LIBOR really fast. But see how you can do this now? So like I said, during the pandemic, this program just became so popular because it was so important for people to sign things, whether or not it was MLS forms or it was just documents that you pulled in that you needed signed. So you have this for free. You should definitely take advantage of this and practice, okay? Do what I do. Don't ever send anything off unless you've seen the whole process first. All right, so somebody asked me a question that I'm going to answer right now. Let me look first in case before I leave this. All right, I got this. Okay, got that. What are the main functionality differences from Classic? The layout is different. We don't have 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, being, you know, I kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, but the buttons are fine. The improvements that I can see is the fact that I can back out of this and save it and then go back in, where before it wasn't that easy to do. I don't even think you could do it. The other thing is it's recognizing documents, they say, things you pull in and putting signature blocks in. However, it didn't do that for my COVID form. And they add a little extra things. So you decide. Well, you have to use this. We're not going to have the Classic. I think it's better. It's just, I think it's going to be easier. Let me know at the end, if for you people that are using it, let me know if you think this looks easier or not. I want your opinion. All right, so I'm going to click next. Now, this is where you can put the expiration date, the reminder. You can change this default in options, so I don't have to keep doing this on one day. I can go into the options and put it on everybody's, every day. It's going to remind them to sign. And there's a little button down here, customize invites. Remember, somebody out there asked me this question. How do we customize invites? And this is where you're going to do it. In here, got a couple, you can import a message. You could save your message. Otherwise, you're going to get the default message. It's not a bad message. What's this one for? You have a couple of options here. Oh, you can have multiples. Oh, wow. Okay, this is new. This is new. You can have 3 different messages in here, depending upon who you're sending it to. And it will, you can set it as a default. So that's kind of cool. All right, that's good. And then I'm sending it. Now I have a packet already signed because it just makes it more efficient when I'm doing like these quick webinars like this, so that you can see what this looks like. They've already signed it though. If this comes through, I'll try to bring it in. Whoever's raising your hand, can you just do a chat for me? I can't unmute you, all right? Are all the one key MLS live feeds, forms, live feeds that we can tab to the next field and fill out? In the past, we had to add drop boxes and it blocked up the form and took forever. Paul, I'm not sure what you're talking about. In the past, we had to add drop boxes and it blocked the form and took forever. You can tab. I always tab over. Actually, they do have, one of the tools is a Dropbox if you needed to have them choose something, which kind of, I don't know if you have to do that. In Excel, I teach that a lot, but they have something like that. Anybody else? Let me see. Caroline, can we set up a template to sellers and buyers to send all the required forms and documents automatically when we are assigned their role? I love this question. Yes. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to show you that, but I'll point you in the right direction. Okay, and that's how I'm teaching the digital signing class next Thursday. I added it to the schedule, and that's going to have templates in it. So this way you have packets of listing forms already set up when you do a transaction. It makes it more efficient. I knew I'd have some beginners in here, so I didn't want to confuse them with all of that. But I have a signing packet already completed in here. Let me go to the pen. Remember, in here, we have the classic view. This is the one we've been using. So they're going to keep this tab. So all your older signings will still be here. And then the new tab. So you'll have them in two different places. So I'm working with the new. I have one that is completed. Let me find it for you. Here it is. It says completed. See right here. It's the new Authentisign. I was testing it. So let me click on this and show you what this looks like. These are all the forms that were already signed, okay? By my sellers in here. My seller, Sam Seller. So here's the forms. Can you see this? Let me move down. I can't drag this up. I have the agency, the lead paint, the exclusive right to sell. I put the residential property form in here too. You know, that big 9-page one, and the COVID form. I wonder if I press F11, if I can move this up. Yeah, you could probably see it better now. So this to me is much easier. So they signed all the forms. This is a different transaction I did before class. And then they came back to me all signed. They get a copy automatically, right? So here's the original of each one. Here's the signed copy. So let me open that. It's probably going to be in a PDF. It's going to be in a PDF, right? Here's the signed one. You can download it or whatever. And now that I'm in F11, it's hard to get out of. Hold on a second. Remember in class, I used to teach people F11. You can see the form better, but when you're in Zoom, it's not that easy. Here's the certificate, each one. Every form that gets signed has this certificate of authenticity, because that's why they call it Authentisign. And this is the legal document that you need to know you get for every single form. Some of the jargon is, legal terminology, but, this is the signatures that they accepted, the dates, the times, the certificate, all of this. This document comes with every single form that is signed electronically. So that's cool to know. Here, this is kind of cool. We did have it, but it wasn't as easy to see. Copy to the cloud. So you can copy these things to your OneDrive or your Google Drive, if you're using any of those, or your Dropbox. So your documents can be uploaded to the cloud that way. So you can get them through that. So that is one that was already signed. You will get an email on your phone that they signed them. And it just seems to work. The old one worked fine. Some people got confused, but I think that this one is going to be a lot easier for you to use. The help that you can get, not only is this going to be recorded, it is being recorded. And then you can go down to the question mark in Instanet here. They have live support. They have been, we have been using Instanet for many years. So of course they want our account. We have a lot of members. They want to support us. So make sure you use the phone number if you need them. The online training, they update it every month. This is not me. This is out through the company. I do my own training for CE, but you can go into the online training part. Here's the calendar. They're teaching new Authentisign. Of course, this is all free. Authentisign advanced features, I haven't taken that one yet, are all in here. There's printable guides, all kinds of help, okay? Also, like I said, this will be in the support center. So anything that I have in there now for Authentisign is going to be the classic view. And I have 5 minutes left. So if you have questions, put it into the chat. I'll look at the Q&A too. And I'll try to answer your questions. I hope I made you feel better about Authentisign. It's not that difficult. And teach somebody how to use it. If you learned, if you're in the office or you want to do a Zoom, go ahead in there. Let me know what you thought about the new signing. Did I miss how the agents sign? Oh, it would be in my email, okay? There is a pen though in markup so that you could sign it right there. I teach them how to do that too. That might be easier. But a lot of the agents do like getting it in their email and then they just click. And this way everything is all legal in there. So what else do we have in here? All right, my chat. Thank you, you're welcome. Okay, I took this, find out if I can have 3 sellers sign. Yes, you can have as many sellers as you want. When you add your participants, right? When you go into the signing part, you just keep adding a participant. You can have as many people as you need to sign it. Okay, not just 2, could be 1, it could be 4, whatever it is in there. All right, let me look at the Q&A. Like, no, I answered that one. I pre-fill my own. Okay, yeah, I answered that. What is the main functionality? I answered that. How do you get from this page back to the home page? You're going to click up here on these tools here, okay? This is how you click. This is the dashboard, but here's your transactions. Pen is your signing and your forms. These are the 3 you really need. But what I didn't talk about is in settings, preferences, getting your picture in there, getting your signatures in there. Make sure that if you're using this program, they have the right contact information. The rest of this really is not for this webinar. I do cover, if you are looking for, and I'm not teaching this, templates. These are pre-set up packets for your transactions. I'm covering this next Thursday. This way, when you do a residential transaction, you get all the forms. If you're doing a lease transaction, you get all the forms. You're working with a buyer, you got all your forms. We kind of set up these templates. This is kind of the way to go. It's more intermediate type of thing. All right, kids. All right, I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I do have a couple minutes. I'm going to hang in there, but if you guys want to go, have a great day. I'll see you in class. Look out for the recording. Spread the word. Authentisign is changing on February 10th. And it's not that difficult, okay? So you shouldn't get stressed out about this at all. Okay, I'm just gonna hang on and see if I didn't answer somebody's question. How did you customize your photo and signature blocks on the invite? Carrie, you saw that, didn't you? Then you might, if you missed anything, like I said, this is pre-recorded. Give it a couple days. It's gonna be on the LA Realtor COVID site, where every Wednesday webinar is there. There's so much information and resources for you to take advantage of. Go in there and take any of these recordings. They're fantastic. Okay, nice to see you too, Amy. All right, my class is 2 to 4 next week. You can go onto the Stratus homepage. It's in there. I just put it on. And if you want to register, it's a two-hour class for CE. There's a $20 course if you're a member for that. And I'm not just selling you the class. I really want you guys to be able to use the new Authentisign and have your in your business to take off some stress and to make things work in a way that, nowadays you really got to just learn how to use the technology. Yes, you can auto date the signing. Yes, so the sign, that's a really good question, Beth. When they sign it, it's going to be dated when they sign it. So that might, help with the date ahead of time. All righty, let me see what else I got. One last question, and I'll answer this one. How do you upload documents into Authentisign? First of all, documents are things that are on your computer already or on a website or it's an email, things like that. They're not in Instanet. So if you do a transaction, this is the way you probably should do it. When you create a transaction, you would go to the document part and press the plus, then get to your computer. Make sure you know where your stuff is. Usually I put things on my desktop, not a good idea, but that's what I do. Here's a buyer package. I want to upload that to give my buyer, say for instance, and then I have that document as part of my account, right? Another thing that you could do, it's 1 o'clock, but this is called the doc box. You can upload documents in here with the plus that you're going to use a lot. So miscellaneous things. It's like a storage place for those miscellaneous documents that you're going to use periodically, and you don't have to go to your desktop, especially if you're using somebody else's computer and you're logging into Instanet through there. All right, I'm going to stop the sharing of the screen, guys. Thank you for coming. I hope you picked up some good tips, and I'll see you in class. Okay, have a great day.